Guys, izwe liyahamba and asekho safe eSouth Africa. And if you still believe that illegal immigration is not a problem in South Africa, please take your time and watch these videos.
We have to bring as many as people as possible from Pakistan here. I was just speaking to Amit Sab earlier, and I'm telling him how important is it to bring more Pakistanis here, because 15,000 Jews have come from Israel into Cape Town, and they are trained military-wise to come here into South Africa, and we also have to plan. It's important for us to stand together, unite together, and ensure that we are also strong. So Alhamdulillah, I'm so proud and to be here. It's a pleasure for me to be here. I studied in Pakistan also, so I'm very happy to be here today and to be with you all today. And I'm hoping that with the
Guys, are you aware ukuthi awu-3 ama-nationalities ayinkinga leso? Ni aware ukuthi obani ingozi? Ibona abantu abazoketula umbuso la. Ibona abantu abazothatha imali. Kulabo abantu asebehambile omakhelwane. Likhona iMozambique elike lakukhomba ngesibhamu, i-rifle. Khona iZimbabwe elike lakhipha i-rifle. Khona iMalawi eke yakhipha i-rifle. Ayikho. Oba Ethiopians. Obani abenza imali ukudlula bonke abantu abalesa? Ethiopians, Somalians. Ethiopians and Somalians. Ibona abenza imali, ibona abangakhokhi i-tax. Ibona abathatha imali u-cash bayisteshe la istesha khona. And I don't think basebenzisa u-Western Union. Mina ngimningi-ke ka-Western Union. Angazi nje ngihlangane noyedwa wabo khona. Imali bayishushumbisa ngendlela bayishushumbisa. Izolo bekunevideo kuliwa ama-South Africans elwa nabo beyaphathela into. Uyang-understand? Nini kunentombazane yabo ekade inevideo isitshele the way abazokwenza ibhizinisi ngenkani eSouth Africa. Ngenkani. Yasitshela the way stupid ngakhona. Yasitshela the way ingane zabo zizofunda ngenkani ezikoleni zethu ezethi ingane zingafundi. Bathembeni labo bantu. Bathembeni labo bantu labo. Yini la bayithembile? Uyazi ukuthi last year December 2025, between December 11 and 12 ne bengiseflightini ngisuka eDubai. Ngaze ngabhala istatus sami kaFacebook ngathi guys kwenzakalani? Iflight engikuyona abantu abamnyama mhlambe babe u6, then kuba belungu mhlambe 15, the rest bekwama Ethiopians. Angikwazi kumehluko ukubahlukanisa Ethiopians and Somalians, so let's use one word sithi Ethiopians ngoba bayafana vele. Bekuyibona ngaze ngabuya ngabhala istatus ngathi basuka la eDubai, suke nabo eDubai. Angazi ukuthi baze batransite eDubai nje bebephuma kukhona izingane, kubona izingane, kukhona ama-teenager, kukhona obanibani. Yes, ngikhuluma ngeflight yami. Ake sibuyele emuva ke before iflight yami. Akukaze la eSouth Africa kufika iflight igcwele bona. Kwaze kwasuka indaba. Ey'ndabeni kwakukhulunywa ngayo leyo ndaba ukuthi bakhona bamisiwe, kukhona nomama abakhulelwe. Uzubona ukuthi babe relocate ngempela. Kukhona nomama abakhulelwe. Guys, niyayikhumbula le ndaba? It was all over the news ukuthi bavele batheleka nje bengenama permit, bengenalutho. Benziwani labo bantu? Baphi manje labo bantu? Laba bangena ngeflight yami bona baphi? Kubantu ababe travela because Somalia obvious transita Qatar and Dubai. Kubantu abatravele between 1st of November to maybe December 28, 27. Traveling between iQatar ne-Dubai. Abezela bazochaza ukuthi bona kuma flights ababagibela bagibelanga inabo. Mina ngithe yami yayi between 11 and 10. Mhlawumbe ngakusasa kwafikela ingiqulu, ngakusasa kwafikela ingiqulu. There are thousands and thousands bala. Who's protecting them? Ngaphandle kwabantu be-protection fee, who is protecting them? Ngokwami kunomuntu wabalanda la ebalanda wabathembisa izulu nomhlaba wathatha imali yabo. I think it's high time bakhulume manje ukuthi ubani lo abamkhokhela iprotection. Khona nathi sizo understand ukuthi kwenzakalani. Yabona? Khona nathi sizo understand ukuthi kwenzakalani. sizo-understand ukuthi no guys, oh laba kukanje kanje kanje, because sicela izinto simple things. Sinamabhizinisi thina sikhokha i-tax, bona banamabhizinisi abakhokha i-tax, babhrije ugesi, babhrije amanzi. Ikhona into enjalo, abayikhokheli i-tax and yet benza ama-millions. Abantu abanjani abafika kwenye i-country bangenisa emalokishini, kugcwele bona emalokishini, eningaphinde nenze lento eniyenzile. Yabona ilokishini, that is where we draw the line. I-township, it's our land. I-township, it's where we draw the line. Yila sidweba khona umugqa-ke elokishini. Umugqa siyawudweba elokishini. Ilokishi phela isekhaya. Ilokishi isekhaya lapha, kufanele imali iphume elokishini. Akufanele kusuke ngisho uBus John azokwenza ibhizinisi la. OBus John bawenza emaplazini, wena nje ngeke usuke uyophazamisa uBus John lapha eplazini wakho uyokwakha i-tuck shop. Ilokishi ila sidweba khona umuqa, but bona bangene baze bangene emalokishini, uzubona ukuthi bayasi-owner. Masithi abahambe bakhipha i-rifle. Ngagcina nini ukuthinta i-rifle ngesandla zami? Awuphelile u-10 years. Ngagcina ukuthinta i-rifle ngo-2013, nokuyibona nje eduze kwami ngo-2013. Kunomuntu okwazi ukuthi avele akhiphe i-rifle nje just like that, akhiphela abantu. No guys, uthembeni lowo muntu. Leya ntombazane leya yakwividiyo yayo, inkulu into abayithembile, khona le mali abayikhokhayo ye-protection. Futhi akuyena umuntu nje lokukhokhwa kuyena leyo mali, umuntu ohleli lapha phezulu kwi-high table. Umuntu la ohleli lapha ya kwi-high table, ngixoxele, izwa ngami. Ibona abantu abayingozi-ke labo. Laba abanye bayayisebenzela, laba abanye bayaruna i-country, badayisa ama-drums, bayayijekha ama-buildings. Uyabo izinto abazenzayo lezo. Laba bazoketula and abahambi, and kuzosuka iwho, ngoba manje dilonga lento ye-march ithatha isikhathi ukuthi abantu benze into ekufanele bayenze. Nathi ngala siyalimala, economically siyalimala, akusetshenzwa, kunama-delays, kunalokhu i-country ayenzi kahle. Sizosuke sithi vu, mase kuba nzima ukuthi sisukume. Kanti masisheshe siyilungisa lento, yabo nje masisheshe nje siyilungisa lento, kusheshe kuqedwe, kubonakala ukuthi okay senze njani, siqedile, obani abasebenzayo, obani abangasebenzi, imiphi imisebenzi esingesikwazi ukuyenza thina. Uyayizwa leyo nto? Ibapho omakhelwane esibanikeza ama-permit. Uyayizwa leyo nto? Ibapho omakhelwane esibanika ama-permit, kunikwa abantu ama-permit okwenzakaleni fast, siqhubeke nempilo. Manje kuyadileya. Into engiyibonayo kuzogcina kukhala inhlamvu. Kuzogcina kukhala inhlamvu, uzozwa. Yabo njengoba kusancengwa kanje, kusalokho kuncengwa, siyadidisiseka, siyadidisiseka. Uzozwa inhlamvu ezokhala. Ngimdala phela mina eSouth Africa, ngiyazi ukuthi ku-operatewa kanjani. Fike kuhlale kuncengwe, kube kusuka lapho kube kunyiwa. Kuzonyiwa-ke manje into engiyibukayo. Inhlamvu yona hayi izokhala shame. Kuzonyiwa. Othi ngasho, uzozwa. Uzungibuza ubani umuntu wakidnap i-South African ngoba ibona. Lo mfana wayekidnapiwe ubani? Ibona. Uyabona uba amabhoza kanjani? Amabhoza. Bayamamafia. Amamafia. Yawazi amamafia? Ibona-ke amamafia. Beloke bethi my friend.
This is our land now. Fuck you all.
This is our.
Let's talk about Somalia and why Somalian people tend to be so invasive in other countries. In this clip, you will see a Somalian lady saying, "This is our country now." That's in America. And if you watch the clip further, you will see a Somalian man urinating on the Hollywood Walk of Fame with those stars where, you know, important people are written on that Walk of Fame, and he's urinating on it. And this brings us back to South Africa and the problems that we are having with Somalian people, especially in areas such as Bellville in Cape Town, where in some video footage they have been seen telling Xhosa people in particular to go back to the Eastern Cape and that Bellville is theirs. This is a very invasive tactic that I have seen from Somalian people in particular. Somalian people, when they come to an area, they don't integrate. they take over. They are an invasive species of human. But maybe in order for us to understand why they are like this, let's understand Somalia first. Maybe it's important for us to understand the history of Somalia in order to understand why Somalians are like this. In 1991, the Somalian government basically collapsed after years of unrest and civil conflict. And instead of the people of Somalia peacefully transitioning and getting along, the country went into a civil war. Rival militants fought for power, government institutions disappeared, and this was a conflict for many, many, many years. And without a functioning government, basic services like healthcare, policing, education, and infrastructure, they deteriorated. The conflict also interrupted farming and trade and the economy, which led to severe famine in Somalia. Hundreds and thousands of people died, and millions were forced out of their homes, creating one of the world's largest refugee crises. Then in the mid-2000s, another challenge emerged. Al-Shabaab, an extremist group, carried out bombings, assassinations, and attacks on civilians while fighting the Somali government and African forces. This prolonged the insecurity in the country and made rebuilding the country just almost impossible. As if that wasn't enough, Somalia has also experienced multiple droughts, and with communities depending on farming, when rain then fails, crops die, animals perish, families lose their livelihoods. So they've also been impacted by climate changes and climate impacts. That being said, even today, Somalia still faces challenges like poverty remains very widespread in Somalia, famine, and there is no access to healthcare, to quality healthcare or education, especially in rural areas of Somalia. So really, there is a lot happening in Somalia, and we do need to sympathize to a degree with Somalians. Another concern or another frightening thing that happens in Somalia is child marriages. Child marriages are so common in Somalia. 1 out of every 3 girls is married before the age of 18 in Somalia, and that is something that is happening today. It's common for a child that's younger than 15 to be married off to an old man in Somalia. That being said, what do I pick up from this? What do I pick up from this? I pick up that Somalian people were unable to resolve their own issues. They decided that they didn't want the government or their president in 1991. And instead of coming together and fixing the country after they were able to successfully overthrow the president in 1991, they started clashing. Which led to a civil war. Lobby groups, civil groups, traditional extremists, everyone was fighting to take over the country, which is what led to the country perishing. Yes, we can talk about what happened in the 2000s, but what happened in 1991? You successfully got your country back. You overthrew an evil government. But what did you do? You fought amongst each other and led your country to a civil war. Now, today, a country like South Africa that only received its freedom 32 years ago in 1991, and that was able to make peace, and that is able to prioritize peace over everything else. We were able to live with our enslavers and not unalive them. We are able to get along with so many tribes in South Africa, but we're able to get along. We don't unalive each other. We don't genocide each other. Because the most important thing to all of us is our country. And now we have people from Somalia that do not have that mentality because they didn't have it in their own country. So when they come here, they see weak people. When they go to America, they see weak people. And in their head, they think that we are going to take over here. These people are weak. We are going to take over. Meanwhile, how did that work out in your country? How did that attitude work out in your country? How far did that attitude get you in your country? You are here as a refugee, as an asylum seeker, because of that attitude. Because of that attitude that is selfish, because of that attitude that wants everything to yourself, because of that attitude that doesn't want to see anyone else succeed. Everything must be yours. That is what caused the conflict in 1991 in Somalia. Everyone wanted to be in power. No one wanted to share the resources and share the country. They all wanted to be in power. And now they're bringing that attitude to South Africa. And it's so unfortunate. It's so unfortunate because Somalia as a country is in such a horrible condition right now. I understand why they are refugees. I understand why they are asylum seekers. But how do you then come to the people that are assisting you and you want to rule them? You want to take over their place. You call them dumb. You call them uneducated. You call them lazy. You take over entire sections of South Africa and you refuse for South Africans to make an income in that section. When people of your own kind in Somalia refuse you a basic living, in your country, Somalia, someone will snatch your child and marry them off. In your country, Somalia, the government is non-existent, but you're able to come here to South Africa and preach South African laws and preach how the police must help you and preach how the government must help you. But in your country, there is no government because your people are unruly and selfish and never hesitate to unalive a person. And you come here to South Africa and you come and act self-righteous. And you want to take over everything and you don't acknowledge what South Africans are doing for you. And everything you are getting from South Africa, it's not from the government. It's from the people. It's from our taxes. You are able to be absorbed in and integrated into the community. We don't place you in refugee camps like other countries. We integrate you into the community so that you can live a dignified life. And what do we get in return from you? Disrespect, selfishness, feeding our children fake goods, using places like Bellville to sell illicit goods. No sense of gratitude whatsoever.